Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I've offered this amendment whenever the opportunity presents itself because it tests whether there is any program in the federal budget that Congress can bear to cut. Essential Air Service is perhaps the least essential program in the entire government. It is a direct subsidy paid to airline companies to fly empty and near-empty planes from small airports to regional hubs nearby. There was supposed to be a temporary program to allow local communities and airports to readjust to airline deregulation in 1978. Instead, it has grown to include 173 communities in a program that has doubled in cost in the last decade. Now, I want to emphasize, this program has nothing to do with emergency medical evacuations. It solely subsidizes regular, scheduled, commercial service that is so seldom used that it cannot support itself. And why can't it support itself? Well, in many cases, the small airports in the program are less than an hour's drive from regional airports. Essential Air Service flights are flown out of Merced Airport near my district in the Sierra Nevada of California. Yet Merced is less than an hour's drive from Fresno Regional Airport, offering regular scheduled commercial air service. Subsidized service is available from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, just 31 miles from Harrisburg International Airport. Subsidized flights from Pueblo, Colorado, are just a 45-minute drive from Colorado Springs Regional Airport, and I could go on and on. There are supposed to be subsidy caps of $200 per passenger and a minimum of 10 passengers per day, and yet every request to waive these requirements has been granted. Every one. Per passenger subsidies can go as high as nearly $1,000 per passenger. Now, by comparison, you can charter a small plane for around $150 to $200 an hour. Over the next 5 years, this program will cost taxpayers nearly $1 billion in direct appropriations, which this amendment would cease. The program also gets another $100 million a year from overflight fees that would otherwise be available to fund high priorities in the aviation system, like 21st century air traffic control technology. The argument for abolishing this program is simple. If a route cannot generate enough passengers to support its costs, that means the passengers themselves are telling us that it's not worth the money to them. Perhaps we should listen. Our country is drowning in debt. It now costs us $475 billion a year just to pay interest costs on the $21 trillion that we've already borrowed. Debt and taxes are driven by one thing: spending. In the last 10 years, inflation and population combined have grown 26%. Revenues have more than kept pace, growing 29% in the same period. But spending has grown 46%, and it has doubled under this program. If we don't get control of spending soon, our nation could enter a debt spiral that threatens our very future. And the Orwellian-named Essential Air Service is a prime example of non-essential programs that we just can't afford. I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. For what purpose does the gentleman